Well, as I promised, we're now down at MP Ray Boughen's office, and Ray's been in the constituency, and I was going to say when he's going back to work, but coming home for the summer, there's a lot of things happen for you in the constituency and the riding, and so let's just talk about what have you been doing in the last couple of months when you've been out of the public eye per se, but into the public eye. You know?
Yeah, that's quite a phrase there,
Yes.
Lyle, in and out, as it were.
Yeah.
Actually, we've been busy with different projects, and we had an opportunity last night to share Joe's project with a group in Avonlea, which went very well. And Joe, of course, did an excellent job on that, and we're looking forward to that program being offered here in Moose Jaw.
What is
and it's
it?
a travel. Information travel.
Okay.
It has everything you needed to know about passports and how you go about doing things and what you should do and shouldn't do, and so
it's a big part of what you know, because with the expanding population in Canada, a lot of people are moving here, or people wanting to travel places. It's a big part of Joe's business, I'm sure.
Sure. Well, just for an illustration purposes, Lyle, if you look at the flights coming out of Regina International Airport, you'll see that the traffic really picks up in the winter months, headed mostly south. Way more traffic than, say, this time of year or even early spring or late summer. So the winter season is the traffic season as far as aircraft is concerned and going to different places. So the program is timely, and I'm sure we'll pick up some interest in that program in the city here and around in the riding.
Is it a package available online that people can lock into? And
No, it's part of the package is a carry-away. There's some paper that they'll take with them for their own references, but it's a program really where you have to be there to really get the most out of it.
So she could come here, people can come down the office, and Joe can just, as they come in the door.
Well, we would get a listing and then hold an evening, because it's about about an hour show. Yeah. So that's been ongoing this summer. We've also been working with the Buffalo Pound Lake Diefenbaker folks. They're looking to put a whole new watershed system from Diefenbaker into Buffalo Pound, and there's a lot of work to be done in canals construction. They're looking at a big irrigation project there, so we've been busy with that. We've been tied up with Regina a little bit in part of our riding there about their water situation with the wastewater management, and we certainly favor the P3 show. It's part of our package for Building Canada, and you know, it's a good package, and it puts on the table $58 million. So it's something that I think cities want to look at very carefully before they decide that it's not for them, and hopefully on the 25th of this month, the folks in Regina will say, yay, go ahead.
Yeah, I came back from BC and found this ads on TV, and I have no idea what it's about.
Right.
So I'm out in left field when it comes to that. I'm just going there. I don't know. So I know it seems to be a very heated topic on you know, bringing in Eric Peterson as one of the spokespersons, actors in the scene.
The opposition to the project, which is basically made up of union personnel, are very adamant that the project shouldn't go ahead. But any reasoning that they put on the table, I've lost track of what it is they're trying to say, because it really doesn't add up. You know, they cite different things from all over the place, and we're talking Regina, we're talking a project that is needed and has to be in place, so we have to get it done. As a city, we're going to end up with $58 million from the federal government. If we don't choose the P3 project and go with the bid and build the project, we don't have 53 or 58 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, that's been hot and heavy.
Yeah. Well, thanks for giving me a little more information. I'm going, really? I don't know. It's all about dealing with sewage treatment. It's kind of an interesting topic, you know,
Right.
like politics and sewage, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those stinkers.
Yeah. Now, one thing I have followed, even from afar, is the fact that the proposed reorganization of constituencies has been put forward. And you have a large constituency now. This riding will then become the largest in the province of Saskatchewan. I don't think the people in Eastern Canada have a concept of size.
No,
You know,
a lot of
relative
that,
to.
yeah. Yeah, we submitted 2 position papers around that project and appeared before the commission twice, and as did all MPs in Saskatchewan. Well, not Ralph, but the Conservative MPs. We might as well have talked to the wall while we
Really?
had, yeah. There were 3 commissioners on the committee, and they, Dave Merritt was one, and Dave was with us. He agreed that it didn't make any sense to change the boundaries just to change the boundaries. People were familiar with the boundaries as they were. They represented the number of people we have in the province. We weren't gaining any seats. We weren't losing any seats. All that got lost in the rhetoric, and they redesigned the boundaries. And so.
So yours, the Moose Jaw constituency, because you're not running again.
No, I'm not. No. 2 terms and out. That's
2 and out.
2 and out. That's yeah. That's my
But
philosophy.
I'm just waiting to hear what the next adventure will be, though, because
Yeah, I'm not sure.
you were a teacher, and we thought, well, he's done. And then he went, no, I'll go into government, and then all these different. What a great life you've had in terms of careers.
Oh yeah. It's been a hoot.
Yeah. So, but it's going to go from here to like Davidson or Hanley.
Oh, it goes further, Lyle. It goes actually north to the edge of Saskatoon.
Really?
Oh yeah, right to the outlook area of Saskatoon. That's how far north it goes. It goes south. This is the latest map I've seen. I'm not sure that they made any changes in that or not. South to the border, and it goes around Regina. It doesn't go into Regina at all. Regina ends up with 3 seats. They now have 4. So they end up with a seat less, and so does Saskatoon, by the way. They end up with 3 seats instead of 4. So we don't see it as advantageous to anybody in our riding, but as I say, we made our position clear, and it was totally ignored. So there you go.
I'll ask you: is there any advantage politically in terms of would one party benefit?
Well,
rather than because sometimes there were times when the governments of the day used to change ridings, so they put pockets of people that wouldn't vote for them in a riding they weren't going to win anyway.
Yeah. The old design was what they call spoke and wheel, where it was like pie shaped from a central area. This was different than that. This is kind of just a whack down a map and spread it out. The history of the province is that the NDP are stronger in the cities than in the rural part. So there's those that say that this new design favors the NDP, that they'll probably...
No, in favor of the Conservatives because there's less city seats.
The Conservatives will carry the day in the rural part of the province and lose out in the 2 big cities. I'm not necessarily of that opinion. I think that's maybe certainly possible. But it seems to me that we have lots of Conservatives, or people that vote Conservative, if you will, in the 2 cities now. I don't see that changing really. So I think that there's some concern there, but it's out of our hands now anyway. All we can do is convince the voters that they should stay with us and stay there for the long haul.
Now, and there has been a member in the Lumsden riding who said he wants to run in your riding. Is that a fait accompli, or just the fact that he said he wants to do that?
Well, as I understand it, Lyle, it'll be an open nomination for each party will decide their own candidates, of course. I certainly would support Tom's position. He's been an MP for a number of years. He's Deputy House Leader. He has a good feel for what's happening in the realms of Ottawa, and also a good feel for what's happening in his own riding. So I think Tom would do a good job. He's familiar with this part of the country. So that's where we'll leave it till nomination day comes along and see what else happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And we're not in our last 2 minutes already.
Done.
So you were supposed to go to work on Monday.
Yes.
But that ain't going to happen in Ottawa.
Right.
You'll remain here because the Prime Minister feels, again, strangely enough, from an outside person, not in the political world, proroguing the Parliament because whatever.
I think the thought was that with the new batch of ministers, that they needed more time to get familiar with their own, with the new portfolio. As you know, there's been quite a shakeup of those ministers. I can understand and appreciate that makes some sense in terms of you want people ready to go to work and knowledgeable about backgrounds and stuff.
Being somewhat skeptical, I have to say, though, it does have a tainted odor to it that perhaps trying to deflect with time the interest with the senators' scandals and things like that.
Well,
you know, I have to say that.
Well, sure, and that's another story, Lyle. The problem with the senators, we don't have anything to do with them.
I know.
You know, we're getting hit with the same tar brush, but the Senate is a story unto itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do?
Yeah, well, you prorogue Parliament, that's what you do.
Well, isn't that a good idea?
Oh, yeah, because we don't care, yeah. Anyway, you're going back on the 16th of October is the word now. And maybe we'll touch base just before you head in, or if not, when you come back. Probably you'll be back for Remembrance Day, I'm sure.
Yes, we're back for Remembrance Day, right.
But thanks for keeping us updated and letting the people who are in the constituency and who have the ability to watch Shaw and the YouTube version of us, that you can do that.
Well, thanks for giving us the opportunity to share with the constituents, Lyle. Appreciate that.
Thanks. That wraps up our show today. Thanks to the Colorful Girls over at Peacock for their support of muscular dystrophy, and for our Member of Parliament, Ray Boughen, for Moose Jaw, to talk about things that are important to you in our community. We're happy to be back into our 1000th season, and we look forward to seeing you again soon on Moose Jaw this week.